Esports are about to become a major player in the sports business world, and we're joined by a former esports player who's become an esports entrepreneur. Craig Levine joins us. Craig, great to have you with us. Kind of give us a baseline. Let's say over the last 12 months, how much have you seen interest and demand grow in esports?
The industry's been incredibly hot over the last few months. Esports has been around for about 15 years, 20 years, but really just over the last year or so with the Amazon acquisition of Twitch for $970 million, did there really start to be sort of this growing influx of interest in the space. Viewership's been growing online through digital platforms such as Twitch. Stadiums are starting to sell out, and obviously that's got the attention of a lot of different folks out there.
And esports will be coming to television as well. In 2016, Turner's formed an alliance with IMG to bring a league for 20 showings in 2016. You're not necessarily a part of that, but what does that mean for you? That's got to be a good sign.
Absolutely. I mean, it's incredibly validating for what we've been trying to build here. We've been the largest esports company in the world. We operate the longest esports competitions. For us to see traditional broadcasters have interest here, I think is a sign that we've been onto something, and very excited for what the future of ESL holds.
You guys recently had a tournament in Madison Square Garden. My understanding is those tournaments are sort of evolving as productions. What are some of the changes you guys have made over the last couple of years?
ESL, we've been pioneering sports stadium events, the first ones to host it outside of Asia, really in about 2013. Last year, 2014, we did our first here in North America at the Madison Square Garden Theater and actually the SAP Center up in San Jose. So for us, these big events have sort of, I think, made it a little bit more real. Online viewership and 100 million views and 27 million unique viewers over the course of an event start to get a little bit lost until you're in an arena, home of a real traditional sports team, and seeing the passion unlocked from these fans that travel from all around. Our World Championship went on in Poland of the Intel Extreme Masters in March. We had over 104,000 people on site. 4-day event was incredibly successful. In July of this year, we held another event in Frankfurt at the Commerzbank Arena. At the Lanxess Arena in Cologne, Germany for Counter-Strike in August. We sold out with about 22,000 attendees over the weekend and over 1.3 million concurrent viewers, which for us was an incredible record. So we're seeing growth of these big stadium events all over the world, and just over the last 12 months have we started to bring them here now to the U.S.
Yeah, and this growth is attracting some rather well-known sports teams owners like the Crafts. Owners of the New England Patriots, they're putting some money into this now. And what is the environment for startup funds for gamers?
I think over the last 6 to 12 months, there's been this amazing influx of money coming in from different venture funds, and shouldn't be surprising that a lot of them are coming from traditional sports backgrounds. We've seen Mark Cuban invest in Unicorn, David Stern and Carmelo's tech fund invested in a company called Alpha Draft that recently got acquired by FanDuel. So as we look out on the landscape, I think there's a lot of fast followers now trying to capitalize on the growth of esports and kind of find their way in there. And for traditional sports, esports represents a demographic that everyone covets. In June of this year, ESPN released their first ever esports edition, and in it was a really compelling statement talking about how for the first time in generations it's the birth of a new sport, and how esports is everything that traditional sports wants to be. It's young, it's digital, it's global, and as we look out, that's again a very powerful statement coming from a very authoritative source there. So definitely got the attention of the traditional sports leagues and owners out there for sure.
Craig, how is your revenue model proportion in terms of the sources?
It's actually very, very similar to traditional sports. So as we look out on our revenue split, between sponsorships and advertising and ticket revenue and merchandising, it splits very similarly to traditional sports. The one big difference, though, is that traditional sports have a significant income from media rights. Obviously, big TV deals getting cut, all across the country with all the big networks. And for esports, that revenue stream has largely been based from the game publishers themselves. So over time, we think that's going to start to migrate for the largest 2 or 3 titles globally, where the publisher investment will start to decrease and media rights around that, whether digital or linear, will start to develop. But for us, it's roughly a third from sponsorship, It's roughly a third sponsorship and advertising, roughly a third from publishers, and then sort of a little bit of a mashup of, again, ticket revenue, B2C revenue, merchandising, and some different services within there for the remainder.
You guys recently sold about 70% of your company. I imagine there's a strategic alignment there in terms of how your parent company, your new parent, can move you guys forward. What is that?
Yeah, we had a majority investment from Modern Times Group, the largest Scandinavian media company. And for them, it represents sort of a big play to go digital and a big bet for global. And eSports was sort of the perfect vehicle that matches their goals with their sports heritage. So they're actually the largest purchaser of sports rights in all of Europe. So for us, it was very beneficial to, one, align with a relatively neutral media company, sort of the Switzerland out there. Also, their experience with sports backgrounds, developing leagues, packaging media rights, brings a new layer of expertise, and certainly the capital injection. We've already seen how quickly the space is going, and now being able to stand more strongly with a partner behind us in a better capitalized business really allows us to preserve our market leadership position and continue to define the space moving forward.
Craig, final question. I don't know if you brought your crystal ball with you or you left it at home, but if we're sitting here doing the show 5 years from now, what are we talking about in terms of esports?
Yeah, I think in 5 years the conversation isn't going to be, is esports a sport? I really think it's just a matter of when. We're seeing more media companies start to get involved, which is going to provide a platform for new types of content, widen the base of the audience, attracting to different audiences. I think we're going to see the continued development of new game titles with esports functionality. So when you look at the history of esports, it's been first-person shooter or MOBA, League of Legends, Dota kind of structure. And now there's games like Hearthstone, which are digital card games, which are a little bit more casual. So I think as more publishers build with the intention of esports, it'll continue to widen the audience. So I think you're going to continue to see more people doing it. You're going to see these stadiums become a bigger piece of it, and probably start getting the attention of even more people out there in the market.
Craig, we appreciate you being with us. Great insights, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you.